The plane of euthymia, where time stands still. If nothing ever changes, she would never have to lose those she loved again. She may have told herself this reckless pursuit for eternity was for the good of Inazuma, and she may have thought she'd chosen wisely. But deep down, beneath the cold, calculating logic of a god, I'm sure A knew the truth. She was afraid. And so, in the ever-stillness of her self-made prison, A sat alone, in her fear and grief. A may be the Archon of Eternity, but not even she could stop time from taking away everyone she loved. From her twin sister to her most beloved friends, tragedy and trauma shaped A into one of the most controversial Archons to date. But speaking of her friends, what were their stories? And how did each of them meet their fate? Today's video will contain the lore of each of A and Makoto's fallen friends. I thought it was a much needed video on the heels of the recent Enchanted Tales of the Mikawa Festival event. So sit back and enjoy, and try to hold on to those tears right in stands. I'm your leafy lorekeeper Minsleif, and I read the Genshin Impact lore so that you don't have to. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Tribe 9, a wild and brutal RPG developed by Akatsuki Games. Set in Neo-Tokyo, a nation ruled by life or death battles, Tribe 9 follows teens fighting back against the madness. The core gameplay loop takes place in each chapter's city, where you'll encounter unique characters and team up with allies to overcome various challenges. As you explore the sprawling pixel art cityscape, you'll face both wonders and perils. Build up your party's strength to tackle the obstacles ahead. The game's 3D action battles are thrilling and tense, letting you craft unique strategies through character builds and combat moves. But watch out, one wrong move means death. Dive into vivid, heart-wrenching storytelling. Will your favorite character survive? With stunning visuals and immersive music, Tribe 9 draws you deep into its rich world and characters. Defy the madness and download Tribe 9 today on PC or mobile to get a limited-time character skin of Koishi Koinata and starter supplies using my QR code, the link in the description, and the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much, Tribe 9, for sponsoring today's video. Starting with the one we know the least about, Sasayuri. As the great Tengu of Yogo, Sasayuri served as a distinguished general under A and Makoto. The weapon Moon's Moon and the Sangonomiya Chronicles reveal most of what we know about his story. He died approximately 2,000 years ago when A killed Orobashi, near the end of the Archon War. There was an ongoing war between the shogunate and the Watatsumi people, who fought alongside their serpent god Orobashi. The Archon War was a chaotic period in which gods fought for dominion over the land and a seat among Celestia's divine thrones. Losing gods were either banished, killed, or fled of their own accord if they refused to submit to the champion Archon. After brutal battles, Sasayuri fell to Watatsumi forces on Yashiori Island, where A would later strike down Orobashi with her Muso no Hitotachi. Raiden's teaser animation indicates that Sasayuri was the first of A's friends to die, and in her memories, his death reminds her of her battle against Orobashi. After Sasayuri's death, his title as chieftain of the Yogo Tengu passed on to Raizenbu, the original wielder of the Thundering Pulse. Raizenbu would later lose a race and become the bodyguard of another one of A and Makoto's friends, Kitsune Saiguu. Saiguu was a prominent historical figure in Inazuma who was worshipped as a kitsune goddess. Like Yae Miko, she was one of Hakushin's descendants and dwelt in the Grand Narukami Shrine. 500 years ago, Kitsune Saiguu befriended a lot of important figures from Inazuma's history. Some include Asase Hibiki, a shrine maiden and a character from one of Genshin's most tragic love stories, Kamuna Harunosuke, Hiragi Hiroshi, a Kanjo official, and the Nagonohara clan, known for their skill in creating artificial meteor displays. Saiguu also doted on a young Yae Miko who arrived at the Grand Narukami Shrine just before the cataclysm. Among her other close companions were Urakusai, a talented kitsune known for his mastery of tea and literature, who wrote the original chronicles of the Six Kitsune. However, Urakusai committed some grave mistake that forced Saiguu to banish him, an act that may have worsened the cataclysm's impact on Inazuma. Inazuma would have needed all the help they could get, and now they were one yokai down. Sensing impending danger, Kitsune Saiguu left the Grand Narukami Shrine to set up permanent residence at Tenshukaku. She said, "A disaster that will engulf heaven and earth is coming. My duty is to defend the people and protect our lord, and so I must go to the shogun's side." During the cataclysm, Makoto departed for Conria, A following some time after Makoto, while Kitsune Saiguu remained in Inazuma. All three knew this would be their final farewell. Kitsune Saiguu and Raizenbo fought tirelessly to protect Inazuma and its people from the abyssal monsters. Saiguu also safeguarded the sacred Sakura from abyssal corruption and established barriers around Inazuma to protect the Thunder Sakura roots. She entrusted the Konda clan with guarding one such barrier. After her final farewell to Ei and Makoto, Kitsune Saiguu vanished into the deep darkness, never to return. In her final moments, she pleaded with the dark will consuming her to spare her memories. Though her body and mind were destroyed, her memories proved so powerful that some fragments remained so pure, even as the rest of her settled into the earth as filth. The remnants of her memories created Hana Chirusato, whom you meet during the sacred Sakura cleansing ritual. Like all Kitsune Saiguu was mischievous. She would compete in hide-and-seek games with the Baketanuki Ioroi. During the Cataclysm, she protected Ioroi by challenging him to one final game of hide-and-seek. Unaware of her death and believing she was still hiding, Ioroi caused chaos across Narukami Island, trying to draw her out. As a result, he was sealed away. If you've played through the recent Enchanted Tales of the Mikawa Festival event, then you're most familiar with Mikoshi Chiyo. Genshin has its fair share of dark lore, but Chiyo had one of the most gruesome stories so far. Especially if you read the items that reference her lore, it's somewhat gory. A majority of her lore is found in the weapon ascension material Mask of the Kijin. In fact, that entire weapon ascension material series is a reference to Chiyo. Mikoshi Chiyo, a warrior of the Oni tribe with the Electro Mitsudomoe emblem emblazoned on her back, was once swallowed whole by a beast from beyond this world that had a tiger's body and a serpent's tail while holding back the forces of darkness. Within the belly of the beast, she was stained by a deep sin and saw her comrades ripped to shreds by those blood-red teeth. At last, she tore the creature's innards apart from within, breaking free. This act would earn her the nickname Tora Chiyo, meaning Chiyo the Tiger Bite. Chiyo was nearly eaten alive by an abyssal creature, and while trapped in its stomach, suffered extreme exposure to abyssal corruption. The nightmares she experienced were similar to the hallucinations that plagued the people of Natlan following their war with the Abyss. Under the influence of abyssal corruption or nightmares, she saw memories of her fallen comrades being slaughtered one after another until she could no longer distinguish dream from reality. The nightmares twisted her joys in life, causing her to attack her family, friends, and subordinates, believing them to be her enemies. Despite Ei's desperation to save Chiyo, the abyssal corruption proved too severe for anyone to cure. If only they had Capitano's draft of lucidity, right? Eventually, Chiyo turned her blade against Ei. During their battle, Chiyo allegedly shattered Ei's naginata with a single bite, gaining a temporary advantage. Ei and Chiyo's final battle took place on Mount Yogo, where Ei struck her down with the Muso no Hitotachi. The powerful blow sliced off Chiyo's arm and one of her horns, while also splitting Mount Yogo into two hills. Chiyo was the biological mother of Iwakura Michihiro, and the adoptive mother of Mikoshi Nagamasa. Her betrayal of the shogun brought disgrace to the Mikoshi clan. Her son Michihiro retreated to Konda village in shame until he met Teruyo of the Yogo Tengu. Teruyo gave him the name Iwakura to help him distance himself from his past. He later became the founder of the Iwakura clan. The Kujo clan would later recruit Michihiro as their sword instructor. Chiyo's adoptive son Nagamasa left to become an inspector under the shogunate to try to restore the Mikoshi name. He'd later become involved in Scaramouche's story during his time at Tatarasuna. After Chiyo's severed and abyss-corrupted horn was found by three Bakedanuki, the nightmare used their anxiety to create panic among human and yokai. Eventually, the traveler purifies the abyssal corruption, and Ei is able to finally have closure with the remnant of her dear friend. Ei's pursuit of eternity was her attempt to stop time and progress from taking away those she loved, and to prevent others from experiencing the same loss that she did. But in sealing herself away, she nearly lost everything that still remained. Her story is one of depression, agony, and learning to move forward despite unbearable loss, all the while inheriting the rule of a recovering nation. While her friends and family may be gone, their memories live on. Not just in her heart, but in the very land of Inazuma itself. And perhaps that's the kind of eternity they would have been proud of. The storm has passed and a new dawn rises over Inazuma. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you again Tribe9 for sponsoring today's video. I'm your leafy lorekeeper Minsleif, and I read the Genshin Impact lore so that you don't have to.